Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ecwid and Facebook's webinar on using Facebook and Instagram to grow your business. Let's do a quick introduction of those who will be helping lead the webinar today. One thing to keep in mind, we have Ecwid staff in the chat ready to answer questions for you if you have any questions as you're going through the webinar. But also keep in mind in the chat you have Q&A section, so you can submit some questions that can be used to be answered at the end of the webinar, in which we'll have a short Q&A session that will pull from the chat and some pre-made questions and a quick interview with another Facebook expert. So let's get started. So to introduce those who will be on this webinar, you have myself, Josh, the Education Strategy Manager at Ecwid. And we also have Amanda Stewart, who is a Global Business Marketing from Facebook, who will be leading a good portion of this webinar from here on out, talking about how Facebook can help you sell and grow your business and store. So Amanda, if you would like to take it away from here.
Oh, great.
Amanda, great.
Awesome. Well, good to know that you can hear me. I work on our global business marketing team at Facebook. I'm a partner marketing manager for our commerce solutions. So really excited to speak with you today and grateful for this partnership with Ecwid. So in terms of today's agenda, what you'll be hearing from us today is around, number one, supercharging your reach. So what are some of the unique tools that you have accessible to you through your Facebook and Ecwid connection? How can you set yourself up for success? So some of the basics, tips and tricks that you can use to get started today, connecting on Facebook and growing your business, because you already have so much already at your disposal being an Ecwid merchant. There will be a demo for how you can connect your Ecwid store to Facebook, and we'll end on a Q&A with a live guest speaker, Ailey Momo, who will be joining us and is a product partnerships manager at Facebook for our commerce solutions. So really exciting. So starting off, there are so many paths to digital discovery today, but really no experience comes close to the quality, the efficiency, and the scale of discovery that's powered through Facebook. When it comes to discovery commerce, it's really both the category innovator and inventor. And we know this because of weekly users of Facebook platforms. More than 74% who discover new brands or products online typically discover them on a Facebook platform, compared to 55% through search, 43% on e-com, and 41% through direct brand or retailer websites. And these discoveries and connections are happening at such a massive scale around the globe. So across our platforms, we have 3.45 billion people and 200 million businesses who we connect. So connecting people and businesses in order to create these great discovery experiences. So if you think about, as you're potentially on Instagram or Facebook, how many times have you discovered something for the first time and almost instantaneously you realize how relevant that is to you and are inspired to make a transaction all within that same phase of when you discovered something for the very first time? And these discoveries, as I mentioned, are leading to purchases. So of online shoppers that were surveyed in the US who use Facebook platforms weekly, 86% ultimately purchased fashion, beauty, furniture, or consumer electronic products that they discovered on our platform. You can see on this slide how for people, our goal is to make discovery feel simple and delightful. And so as they interact with our platforms, they can discover new products wherever they are. And they're able to purchase quickly and easily, often without leaving the app. So you can see some examples here of how within Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp, you could easily, as a business, interact with your customers and create these seamless experiences that are really unique and help them to discover something that delights them wherever they are. And we have so many ad formats that are super unique and meet the customer where they are in their customer journey of shopping and discovering your product. So we're going to get into some of these examples of formats today. but especially thinking about product tags and how you can increase discovery on Instagram right when someone's in the app. So speaking high level to the opportunity, as we discussed, Facebook is a place where discovery happens and your customers can find new brands like yours to delight them. And so because that moment of discovery can happen at the same moment, essentially, as that eventual conversion, it's really important to use some of the features that we're going to talk through today, such as product tags, to enable your customers with the ability to make a purchase directly within the Instagram app, for example, and to learn more about your product so that they can be taken immediately to your website. So we're going to focus a lot of our time today on what are those tools that will enhance that discovery, give that customer the important information up front so that they can make that purchase decision. Product tags are super important and enable your customers to be able to understand if an item is in stock, what the pricing is, and these product tags allow a post that you create on Instagram to be highlighted in Instagram's Explore or Shop tab. So it's really important to have updated and accurate information within these tags, which we'll get into later. That's fueled by your product catalog. In order to supercharge that reach and reach more customers through Instagram and Facebook, you may want to think about amplifying your organic strategy down the line with paid features like ads. So you can use ads with product tags to allow you to maximize that reach of your products by setting targeting specifications to reach new customers, for example, or to retarget customers who might have already started that purchase journey with you, might have started checking out, but you want to re-engage them and remind them of your product. So all in all, there is a full funnel strategy that you can create across these different products through connecting on Facebook and Instagram that will allow you to both generate awareness to ultimately drive transactions all in one place using some of the different formats and different targeting that is available through Facebook and Instagram to grow your business. Number one is setting up your Facebook business page. So in order to set yourself up for success, we need to install the basics. So you need to have a page that represents your clear business identity. So this page should have a profile picture, a cover photo, a description, and some contact information. We're using an example of a Facebook page here, but the same would go for creating an Instagram profile that represents what your business is all about and how your customers can expect to interact with you. So you can create a page button to make it easy for customers to visit your shop and to also shop your products. And you can also create posts that welcome your visitors and highlight products that you have. You can invite people that you know to follow your business. Importantly, because you're already set up on Ecwid, once you have the business basics like the page, you have a product catalog, you can connect your Ecwid store to Facebook and start selling there. So Ecwid will automatically sync your products with your Facebook shop. This catalog that holds all of the data and information about the products that you sell is the source of truth for what products will show up ultimately in your shop on Instagram, for example. Once your products are tagged, customers can see a bag icon and they can tap on a link to view the item's name, pricing, description, extra photos, and a direct link to your storefront product page to purchase a product. We'll have a demo to show you how to connect your Facebook and Ecwid store and connection at the end of this webinar. So just wait, we'll get into that demo so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about of connecting. Organic posts are a great way to reach people who are following your business. But if you want to introduce your product to people who don't follow your business already, you may wish to advertise. I've mentioned a lot about product tagging. So product tagging is the ability for you to tag your products in content that you're creating on Instagram and send people to a product detail page that has more information that they would need in order to make a purchase. And that happens directly on the Instagram app. This is really important because, as I mentioned, your customers are discovering something new that delights them and can instantaneously get that information they need to make a purchase, all in the same process, because they are mostly on mobile and have these tools right at their fingertips. So using product tags in your feed content is one of the most effective ways to encourage people to engage with your shop. And I'd like to share some different business outcomes that we've seen from doing this. So using product tags in your feed content on a regular basis is one of the most effective ways, as I mentioned, to encourage that engagement. We've seen checkout partners who tag 5+ days per month on feed see around 200% increase in sales. So just thinking about, like, if you are tagging and you're increasing that discovery and engagement with your shop, more and more of your customers are going to be able to get that relevant information up front. So you may be asking, where can I add these product tags? You may have seen them already on Instagram if you've seen a feed post, for example, if you've seen stories. So we've built product tags so that businesses can tag products across Facebook and Instagram and easily shop wherever they're discovering new content. So stories, feed, and live are places that you could easily tag different products. I want to encourage you to think about what type of content your audience will engage with. So really important to think about different content. Different people engage with video or static when they're discovering new content that they enjoy on our apps. Think about the kind of content that you enjoy. And especially if you have a product that you need to showcase over video, it might be important for you to start creating that type of content that will increase that engagement and will help your customers to understand how to use your products. As I was mentioning earlier, so the path to purchase from discovery to ultimately that transaction is sometimes not always linear. So a person may visit your website, they may add a product to their cart, and they might not immediately complete a purchase. So Facebook has an ad platform that matches that person to something that they might be already showing signals or purchase intent to buy. So if your potential business has a product that we think someone could be interested in buying or have shown engagement with, you can always use ads to target those users, either through different audience types, like using custom audiences of people who have already been to your website, or engagement custom audiences of people who have already engaged with your shop. So you can see in this example that we have the funnel of driving discovery, consideration, and purchase. So let's think about the top of funnel. So top of funnel, you can use organic tags, so organic product tags in your post. So completely unpaid, free feature that will help your followers to discover your products. And that's really helpful for your existing followers and also increasing that discovery on your explore page, where we could potentially show your products that are tagged. Consideration. So you can use ads with product tags. So you can actually boost a product tag post to help drive that discovery from targeted audiences. So you could actually set, hey, I want to target new audiences who have never been to my page, and use ads to increase that reach. So that's going to help you to reach beyond what you could organically by just posting. And you can do that directly from the Instagram app, or you can do this through Ads Manager. So those are both two tools that you have directly at your fingertips to help get started on ads. Ultimately, for purchase, it might be valuable for you to think about who are those people who have already engaged with my shop. So you can create custom audiences, like I mentioned earlier, of people who you already know. They could be based off of your email lists. They could be people who have already been to your website and are tracking off your pixel, and so that you can retarget them to ultimately make a purchase. So there are different strategies for the full funnel experience. And I also, again, would recommend that you create content that fits with each stage of the funnel. So at the bottom of the funnel, it might make sense to just show someone a direct product that they engaged with, a static image. It just serves as a reminder for them to revisit your items. Versus discovery, it might make more sense to use a lifestyle type of creative. Maybe you use video, or you use slideshow ads or a carousel to help them understand the full array that you have available through your shop. I've mentioned catalog quality quite a bit, and we'll cover this in the demo, but catalog quality plays a huge role in creating a positive shopping experience. So your catalog information is presented in an intuitive fashion through these product tags. So whatever you're selling, you have a catalog that lists, here's the item I'm selling, here's how many I have in stock, here's important information that someone should know, like color, sizing. And this is shown ultimately in tags that you use in your content. And so if it's not up to date, you could be deterring ultimately a potential customer from making a purchase because they just don't have the right information, or they're buying something that's actually out of stock. So really important to ensure that you have an up-to-date catalog. And the amazing thing about already being an Ecwid merchant is that Ecwid's integration with Facebook automatically syncs the catalog and will keep that up to date through this direct integration.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. So that was some great information, everyone, for the benefit, the impact to you as far as using Facebook to help reach a bigger audience, get your products out there, and provide an easy and seamless way for potential shoppers to discover you and then purchase from you. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to bring up, we have two tutorials, one on how to connect your Ecwid store to Facebook, and then that will go straight into a tutorial on how to then create a taggable product on Instagram, just like Amanda. All right, so here you can see my store. So first, what those two videos we're talking about, both of the things that you need to do to connect is going to be under Facebook, Instagram. Now, keep in mind that anytime when you want to connect your store to Facebook and Instagram, you do need to be on the venture plan or higher to be able to connect and have your product catalog sync. But this is where you would go, and when you click connect, it will have on-screen instructions. I cannot go through that through here because a lot more setup needs to be done. But this is where you would start with that, and then the two videos will take you further on that. Now, going back to catalog and products. So if you navigate to catalog and then you go to products, you will see your entire catalog. Again, as the beginning of the video had mentioned, if your catalog is empty, you'll have nothing to sync to Facebook. So connecting to Facebook and Instagram should be something that happens further down the line when you're setting up your new store. You want to make sure that you've added all the products that you want, or at least your initial offering of products, and that you have titled them and added in descriptions. So I wanted to go over a few things. So here you see I have some sample products, but I also have some photos that I took, because in my store, I'm selling digital photos. Now, using the bulk update feature, I can actually do a few things in mass. One, when I click bulk update, I can actually easily just come in here and replace each photo. So that is a super quick way where if you just need to go through a bunch of products and you have all the photos somewhere on your computer in a folder somewhere, I can easily kind of just go through a list and not have to go into a few menus to upload the image and come back out. I can just stay in this one little screen, almost like a spreadsheet, click upload, and upload my few photos. Now, as was mentioned earlier, when we're talking about physical products, you're going to want more than one image, right? I'm going to want an image of the entire product. I'm going to want some images from angles that will matter to the customer. For instance, when you're thinking of, let's say, TVs, they always want to see the back and see where the ports are and how many ports there are. So you want some close-ups of those sorts of areas that matter, different angles, so that your potential shopper can get a good idea of what this product looks like and if it meets their needs. I can also come in here and, in mass mark if some are available, some aren't. What you also want to make sure is that you have stock, and I can remove an item from my catalog so it doesn't show up in Facebook shops if I'm no longer selling that. That'd be a bad customer experience if a product showed up on Instagram or Facebook and you're no longer selling it. And I can also come in here and quickly make sure all my prices line up. Now, going back to the main product screen, again, under catalog and products, when I click on any one of these products, I have more in-depth settings I can do. Again, description is very important. So I'll come in here, give the description, give it a title. The attributes is also super important, and you can set these up yourself by going to manage attributes first and create the attributes that make sense for your store. So let's say you sell furniture. I'm probably going to have a dimensions attribute. I'll probably also have a weight attribute and maybe a color attribute. If it's apparel, I'll have a size attribute and maybe a color attribute. These are all important, again, because the more information I have for the shopper, the more trust they have in making that purchase and ensuring that whether the apparel fits them, the jewelry fits them, or if it's, again, furniture, that they've measured out their space, it can make sure it fits in wherever they're going to, put the furniture in. The other area that's super important is SEO. And this is where you can start to add in your tags and descriptions. And this helps when it comes to things like marketing and advertising, again, whether in the discoverability area of Facebook and Instagram or really anywhere else. But I'd want to put in tags, things like, for me, for photos, I put in zoo, fun, animals, leopards. I don't want to overburden this with keywords, but I do want to make sure that I start to think of what are the things that I would think that my potential customers would be searching for when it came to this product, and enter those here. And there you go. So when it comes to product catalog quality, again, description, title, make sure I have as many attributes as make sense and that they're filled out. And then under SEO, make sure I have in my tags. And then again, I can go to catalog, products, and bulk update, and I can easily come in here and modify the photos and titles and price. So again, apologize if the video is not working. Hopefully we've dumped those links in the chat, and we'll send them out in the email right after, along with the Help Center articles that are surrounded around that, so that you have all the information you need to make sure you can connect your Ecwid store to Facebook, again, needing to be an adventure plan or higher, and then using catalog to make sure that your catalog has good quality. The items are in there, descriptions are in there, attributes are in there, keywords are in there, so that when you connect to Facebook, Facebook can properly display and advertise your products, and hopefully you can get those conversions. All right. So now let's go back to our slide, and where we're going to go next is a Q&A. Welcome back, Amanda. And I know we have some preloaded questions first. And there we go. So Amanda, I'll let you kind of cover some of the Facebook specific ones first. And then I saw some Ecwid ones towards the bottom, so hit those up after you kind of hit the ones on your side.
Yes. So I know we're waiting for Isla to join us from our end, but I think I think just to get started, there were some questions on the chat around different catalog questions. So one question that we had was, do you need to have 2 catalogs to have a store on both Facebook and Instagram? And we would actually recommend that you have 1 catalog that can be shared across both platforms and managed in the Ecwid console. And that's really important as to what I was saying earlier. You want to make sure that that information is consistent between platforms anywhere that you're selling products. And especially, for example, if you have a particular sale or if you have some sort of promotion that's running on your website, you want to make sure that that's shared also across your Instagram shop where you might be selling products. Not sure if, Josh, you want to answer a question maybe on the Ecwid side next.
Sure. I just turned off my audio while saying sure. So again, someone said, can you select only certain products for the Facebook Connect? And it will sync your entire catalog. And then on the Facebook side, you can get a little bit more control there. But as Amanda had said, you use 1 product catalog, right? So we don't want separate ones. It's going to sync your entire catalog. I can remove items from the catalog if that item is no longer one that I want to sell anymore. And we have Facebook Marketplace categories, which we had an article that goes into a little bit further detail on that, so that once your catalog is synced, you can play around with some of the categories on the Facebook shop side. And we also have a new feature where you can do bulk editing with Marketplace categories. And someone also said, is SEO metadata section only for tags or full text description? Primarily for tags, as you saw when I go to catalog product, right away under general, you have your description, and that's what would show up on both on the Facebook side, like under the product, and it would also show up on, let's say, your cart or the product listing page where all the attributes and descriptions are listed. And on the SEO side, that's mainly for tags that would normally not show up on the page, but it's kind of behind the scenes, and it's what gets scrubbed by the different sorts of technologies that are looking out for that. And then the other big one I saw here, and I'll just reiterate again, is linking to Facebook free. It requires a venture or hire plan, but after that, there was no fee involved in connecting your Facebook store or connecting your Ecwid store to Facebook and Instagram. You just need to be on the Ecwid venture plan to get access to that feature. And I'll hand it back over to you, Amanda and Eilay.
Thanks, Josh. Hi, Eilay. Nice to have you join us. Excited to have you here. If you wanted to give a quick intro to yourself, would then love to ask you some questions for our Ecwid audience.
Cool. Eilay Momo. I work with Facebook on my role as a product partnerships manager. And what I do is helping SMBs like yourself to set up your presence through Ecwid. And I'm here to speak on questions you'd have around how tools can help businesses like you to connect and set up your full presence on Facebook with the Facebook for Ecwid toolkit that we're talking about. But good to meet all of you and looking forward to this conversation.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. I think to kick us off, so throughout the course of the webinar, I talked about several different tools that you can use uniquely as an Ecwid merchant to get started, but would love to hear from you. What are some of the benefits in your perspective of integrating with Facebook and Ecwid in one place?
So if you think of the different steps a business will need to take when setting up their presence for commerce, there's the first point, setting up your presence in itself. In the toolkit, you will be able to set up your Facebook page or your Instagram profile to help bring to life your presence on the Facebook ecosystem. And then the next piece is the products or the services that you want to offer. With the catalog, which is one of something in the tool set, you'll be able to list your offerings and either run ads on them or display them on your store. And you could also synchronize all of them in a way where all your different offline stores and offline catalogs can be synced up with the one catalog for your Facebook. And then that way it's dynamically updated and is always kept in sync. The next piece is the actual transaction. You can set up, actually, I'll move from the transaction just a little bit back on the products and services. If you set up your catalog in a way where it shows all the offerings you have, buyers could actually click on them to try to buy or purchase from you. And that would take them to your offline shop and your transactions could actually happen from there. So this is an entry point into transactions that could be made on your products and services. The other piece to call out that you can benefit from is the conversions API of the pixels. In order to do better, to get maximum business outcomes, you want to know who to run ads to, or who are the best option, what are the best segments of people that will buy your product. With this toolkit, you can connect to the conversions API, the pixel toolkit, and it would give you better returns on your ads or better targeting on your ads and give you buyers that would most likely convert or purchase the item on your website. This is something you can access through Facebook for Ecwid. That's just a high-level overview of the different steps that you can run and connect to get you to actually purchase and conversions that are needed. The other thing high level is there are other benefits we could talk about, and Amanda would lead us to it, but we have like real life examples of SMBs that have seen like high returns on their ads and returns on their revenues by using those tools. But Amanda, let me know if you want me to go deeper into it or if you want to go into the next question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we're, segueing into a good point here, which is that I'm sure businesses would love to hear about success stories for those who have grown their business using our tools, especially with partners like Ecwid. So could you share some examples of this? And I can also add some takeaways from the example that I'm thinking of.
Sure. So this is just a high-level example of a business in a baby apparel store that was able to set up their presence. The two key tools that they said were very helpful in the returns they saw were the pixels, which helped them with targeting and figuring out the best buyers for their products. And the second was the catalogs. Just being able to sync up their products real time through the catalogs was really helpful. And the impact on them was they saw when they ran an ad campaign, they saw a 14x return on their ad spend, which was very impressive for them. And the next piece was like a 12x return on their year-on-year revenue growth. And it could be attributed to these two pieces, the catalog and the pixels. Another example is Julia Rosen, an Ecwid partner. It's a luxury retail brand, wanted to scale out her business. So she worked with Ecwid as her e-commerce platform to start scaling it out. But as a core problem that comes with scale is just being able to synchronize all your stocks and all your products as things are being purchased from your different channels and outlets. And that's one area where the product catalog piece comes in handy because it gives you a very integrated place to keep track of all your catalog, of all your inventory. And so when sellers try to purchase it from the Facebook end and it takes them to your store, it's all managed and synchronized for you on the go, on the fly. The other piece that helped Julia Rosenberg in the scaling out was also the pixels, in terms of driving the number of giving better outcomes of buyers and buyers that were most likely to convert or buy from her platform. So those are like two examples of real life case studies. And just to add on to it, Julia Rose and saw a 43% increase in revenue with the Facebook for Ecwid toolkit. And I think it speaks to the impact of this tool. And I think once you start connecting and using it, you would see more of what we're talking about.
Thanks so much. I know that example also, when we were talking about this earlier, Aile, it really stands out, Julia Rose Boston, because they've used Instagram tools and creative formats in a unique way that allow them to engage with their customers. And so this is a success story that you can actually find on the Ecwid website if you would like to learn more. But they used product tags and swipe up links within stories so that their customers can easily shop their products. And they create a sense of urgency in the type of content that they create. So because a lot of the items that they're showcasing are through stories and you have to swipe up in order to shop and see what's available, their customers have learned what to expect from their page on Instagram. And that helps them ultimately to know what's in stock, what's available, and what's the right way to get a hold of some of these fast moving and fast selling luxury items. I think another question that we had, Aile, is around if you have problems while integrating with Facebook for Ecwid, how can you get those resolved?
Good question. So in the toolkit, as you're going through the flow of setting it up, there is a customer support help option at the bottom right. And you could use that at any point in the process to reach out to a Facebook support team to help you. At this point, it's a contact form that you need to fill out, just brief details of your name and what the problem is. But it's very instant and very conveniently located in the flow of FB. So that way you could get like an instant support when you need it.
Awesome. Super helpful. Not sure if we have time for more, Josh, or if we should be closing out.
Yeah, just one or two things that we kept seeing pop up. So one, we saw people talking about who have kind of mixed catalogs, where some stuff would be sold on Facebook and some wouldn't. Madison, who's on our education team and made the tutorials, just posted a link in the chat that goes into detail on the control you have over your catalog once it has synced to Facebook, and how you can go into the Facebook interface and disable very specific products or even entire categories. So if you set your categories ahead of time in Ecwid, like maybe I have my digital category or digital photos, whatever, and then my physical stuff, it would be pretty easy for you to go then and just kind of disable that entire section of product so that it's not on Facebook, and whether it's wine, CBD, or digital, or just the sort of stuff that isn't supported on that end, you can have that disabled. Number two, can you bulk tags for all products? Right now, no, you cannot. That may be something we look at in future versions of our bulk editor, but you would need to go to each individual product, SEO, mess with those tags, and same thing on anything you would do on the Facebook side. And lastly, back to Aile's point, you have the Facebook support, but then also if you have questions about your catalog, categories, and setting that stuff up so that when it does sync to Facebook, that it looks the way you want, feel free to hit up our own chat and support as well. As you see Camila inside right now doing her best to answer everyone's questions. There's a much larger team of Camilas that are there ready to support you. And we also have our help center with our tutorials as well to answer any of those more kind of unique, specific one-offs that require some more deep dive, and that can help look at your specific store or instance. And then I think there was one more. When is Facebook checkout coming to Ireland? Just always keep an eye on our product rollout and changelog for any updates on as features roll out to different regions. don't have a specific answer for you right now. Wish I did. Just keep an eye out for that from the Ecwid side. We keep that up to date almost on a weekly basis as features roll out to new regions. Outside of that, we will include links to all pertinent Help Center articles and tutorials from this webinar. This webinar has been recorded, so there will be replay available, and the chat will be part of the replay as well. And Facebook did us a great favor in preparing some takeaway documents as well on product catalog quality and Instagram shoppable media. We will be including those in the email as well. So you have access to those documents, and hopefully you will have access to everything you need to take advantage of all the great benefits that have been talked about by the Facebook team today. That help Facebook help you grow your store, get new customers, re-engage previous customers. And otherwise, you can hit up our support and chat for any more detailed questions. But Amanda and Aile, if you don't have anything else, I think this would be a good time for us to kind of wrap up the webinar and let everyone get back to their day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And
pleasure.
Good luck selling.
Thanks,
everyone.
Bye.